Hello and welcome to S.T.A.L.K.E.R Sky. It is time to get into this one. After I went through Shadow of Chernobyl with the complete mod, took a bit of a break from Stalker and tried playing Next Day Survival, but that just really can't touch the Stalker games. So this is the one, it's been the longest since I've played. Call of Pripyat I used to play really regularly in the first one, and I've beat this one a few times in the past with and without the complete mod, but it's been a few years, so I'm looking forward to playing this again. So I'm just gonna boot up on, I guess, Stalker difficulty. And once again, using the complete mod, because in my experience from what I've seen with Stalker mods, the Clear Sky, or the complete mods are the ones that, that fix the most stuff without really changing the vanilla game too much. So
in actual fact, we have nothing to worry about. According to our research, the next emission will not occur for at least 2 months, 4 days, and 7 hours. Its intensity will be 3 on the Bergman scale, which is 2.13.
So yeah, for anyone unfamiliar with this one, it is a prologue to the first Stalker, and you do not play as S.T.A.L.K.E.R, you play as this dude, who is just some mercenary, basically. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is part of the game, but yeah, things are quite a bit different.
Without going into detail, I must say I have never seen anything like this before. The encephalogram suggests serious damage to the nervous system, but the other indicators couldn't be better. It's astounding.
Perhaps it has something to do with the emission.
Most certainly, although so far I've been utterly unable to formulate a rational explanation for this abnormality.
Now, as opposed to Shadow of Chernobyl, this one is a little bit more sandboxy in how you kind of go about it, if you want to do everything. A lot more repeating stuff and things like that. There's faction wars, which are even complete fixed them a little bit, but they're still a little messed up. So I'm not sure how deep we'll get into that, but...
Welcome back to the world of the living, Stalker. How are you feeling? Do you remember what happened to you? In the joking mood, eh? That bodes well for your recovery. I'm Lebedev, the group leader, and I'm responsible for everyone here. That includes you, for as long as you're here. We call ourselves Clear Sky, and you are in our base right now. We picked you up in the swamps after the emission. Lucky? I doubt it. The facts are these. You survived the emission. That's the first thing I still can't explain. The second thing is that our patrol found you in the swamps, which are essentially endless quicksand. And thirdly, you nearly got torn into shreds by a pack of pseudo-dogs. But our boys got you out just in time. Such a chain of events tells me it's more than just luck. Anyway, I need to finish what I'm doing. So let's continue this conversation later.
So yeah, with this one, this is the first one the complete mod added the Wish Granter to, and if you really wanted to be a cheating bastard, you could just use it to give yourself all the money, all the items, everything that you want. And I've beaten this game in like a couple hours before, just starting up here and then giving myself everything and going straight to the story, which is absolutely not how I'm going to play it this time. So the Wish Granter is not there, basically. The one cool thing you can do with it on Clear Sky is you can spawn vehicles, which is something that if you ever played the old beta 19 or the old builds of the original Stalker, there was cars. So they're not in the vanilla game, so I'm not sure if I'll use them, but you can use them. And they're kind of useless in a way, I guess. But it is kind of a cool thing to mess around with. I might show that at some point. And these guys tend to talk quite a lot, so if there's a part where they're not actually speaking, it's just a bunch of text, and you want to read through it, just make sure you pause the video, because I've already seen all this before, and I probably won't sit there and read it myself too much.
I'm glad to see you, young man. You look considerably better. People are mistaken in their belief that they understand the essence of what the Zone truly is. Some consider it to be a universal evil, others a wonder sent down to humanity, and others still consider it no more than a source of riches. They are all wrong. The Zone is impossible to understand when viewed through the prism of human perception. Moreover, it is far too early for humans to even try. Ergo, the actions of both the government and stalkers with respect to the Zone are misguided, and I fear that the potential consequences may be, or indeed are, completely unpredictable. Naturally, this represents a terrible danger. Young man, if only I had the answer to that question. We are studying the Zone meticulously in hopes of finding it. The Zone appeared as a result of the actions, let's call them misguided human actions, and we are unable to return to the status quo. The Zone cannot be destroyed, nor will it disappear of its own accord. We, Clear Sky, believe that there is only one way to reconcile man with the Zone: coexistence. How can I best explain? Let's put it like this. Any complicated system in nature, and that includes the Zone, automatically seeks equilibrium in the absence of destabilizing external factors. That was the case here in recent years. The Zone was stable and there were no significant deviations from the norm. And now we've seen a gigantic emission that has changed the face of the Zone. The system became unstable, distorted, a glitch of sorts. The Zone is spewing out emission after emission and pumping itself full of energy with each one, so much so that the readings on my sensors oscillate with unbelievable speed. And unless we find a way of reversing this trend, the result will be a disaster of far greater proportions than the 1986 catastrophe. The most important lesson in all this is that this glitch is not a product of natural causes. This is human handiwork. That's what we are attempting to find out. Perhaps knowing who disrupted the Zone's equilibrium will give us a chance to prevent a disaster. Since man caused this mess in the first place, man may well be the only one able to set it right. In any event, I very much hope that is the case. I fear that question is not one I can answer. I suggest you address it to Lebedev.
Guy sure had a lot to say. Now, the one thing as far as I remember about this game, the one thing that can become sort of a pain is getting money for weapon upgrades, because weapon upgrades are a thing in this one. They weren't in the first Stalker. And as far as I remember, artifacts are not worth as much money and a little more difficult to come across. I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been years since I played this. I've forgotten a lot about it.
Look who we got visiting our swamps. You sure are a whiff of fresh air. Hello, Merc. You became quite a legend while you were out of it. Even you wouldn't believe some of the rumors I've heard. Anyways, here's a drink on the house for a lucky son of a gun. It should help you relax and tell me about your adventures, because I'm just dying of curiosity. Well then, you drink and I'll tell you about this place. It used to be pretty quiet here. We had the paths worked out, the right places explored, and the approach covered. Of course, the swamps ain't exactly spring break material, but it wasn't too bad either. Yeah, it wasn't too bad until the last emission, the biggest we've ever seen. These days our boys pray both to God and the devil before going out of the base. Because getting back alive is a miracle in its own right. But we're managing to hold it together, because our guys ain't here for loot. They're fighting for a cause. I was collecting bottles one after another, and they let me here. I'm kidding, man. The truth is, there was no place for me in that other world. didn't want me. In the end, I came here. First to the zone, and then to Clear Sky. The guys here are alright, and I need it here. They come back here after a mission, I pour them a drink, tell a few dirty jokes, and my job is done. Simple, but effective. By the way, they call me Cold around here. In our base, as you can see, it's a small, sinking farmstead in the middle of romantic, endless swamps. I couldn't tell you where it is exactly, but it's the last place in the zone where you can meet real people. Guys who won't screw you, stab you in the back, or let you bleed to death to save a med kit. You know why you've never heard of it? Because too many people want to know about it, and the fewer that do, the better. Lebedev is our leader. The man is a rock if ever I've seen one. He's the glue that holds our whole group together. Then there's Binpolev, Professor Binpolev. He's like a walking encyclopedia and a calculator in one. Knows more about the zone than... well, anyway. Our technician's called Gray. He can make you a rifle out of an empty can with ammo to boot. He could use some spares, but apart from that. And finally, we have Suslov. He's a trader, but he ain't like the others of his trade. He won't try to rip you off or screw you.
Cold.
He knows what
Leave the
stalkers
merc
go
alone
through
with
to
your
get
dirty
their
jokes.
work, and he
I need to
respects
see
that.
him.
Well, brother, if Libedev says he needs to see you, that ain't up for a discussion. Go on, I'll catch you later. Well, next time you're
One
at the
other
swamps, don't be a
difference about this one is you can spend money to actually get stash locations, which sucks. Because money, as far as I remember, is not the easiest thing to come across. Unless you cheat, you can give it to yourself in the Wish Granter. I'll show you guys the Wish Granter at some point if you're curious what it is. Just, I'm not going to use it, but I'll show you. And, yeah, like this guy, he sells you a ton of stash locations. But, yeah. With money being short, I probably won't do too much of that.
Got some fresh air? You look better, that's for sure. Let me fill you in on this situation. You're in the Clear Sky base. Don't try to remember who we are. You've never heard of us, and there's a very good reason for that. Our mission is to research the zone. We believe that the zone must be studied and understood so that humanity knows what it is facing here. Understanding is the key to coexisting with the zone. Because if you think about it, the zone is the most wondrous phenomenon humanity has been confronted with in its entire history. As I said, we are researchers. We are trying to figure out the nature of the zone, determine the reasons which caused it to appear, and formulate the rules that govern its existence. We are not consumed by a quest for money. We don't seek fields of artifacts, and we're not interested in turf wars with other factions. That is why we're hiding here in the swamps and concentrating on our research. Our forte is not combat, but knowledge. Knowledge of the zone, accumulated over years of research. We know more about it than stalkers and the government combined. And our research was finally shaping up into a sound, coherent picture until the massive emission a few days ago. No, that emission was incredibly powerful. It was on a level of its own. It was like a hurricane that swept the whole zone, changing it. Everything is different. The well-known and relatively safe areas have become highly radioactive and full of anomalies. But now, you can access parts of the zone that have been unreachable for years. Even the most hardened stalkers don't know what awaits them on their favorite path. The other thing that changed is people. And that became evident right away. The emission destroyed the fragile balance between factions, and they're now warring for territory. In other words, many strange things have happened, and I don't yet fully understand the scale of these changes. It's only been a few days since the emission. If you ask me, the strangest thing of all is that you managed to survive it. I see. How can I help you? Getting out of here isn't easy, not by a long shot. The swamps are a real maze of reeds and radioactive quicksand, swarming with terrible monsters and human scum. And I don't know which is worse. Only a guide can lead you safely out of here. We only have a handful of them. Guys I would trust with my life without a second thought. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Because if I let you go, our presence here might not stay a secret for long. We are having a very tough time here recently. The emission reduced the number of anomalies in the swamps, which made the area easily accessible for bandits and other vermin. There are so many of them, they'll be setting up camp in our base soon if we don't do something about it. The problem is that we're not really the fighting type, so we've been steadily losing ground. But you, one look at you, tells me you're a pro at that sort of thing.
This is the second outpost. We're
Your
under attack. I
experience
repeat,
can save
we're
the
under
lives
attack.
of
Help!
many of my... That's enough chit-chat. There's been another attack on our outpost. Help us fight it off. If it makes any difference, some of the boys who saved you are there right now. You still remember how to survive in the zone?
Yes, sir.
Great. Get over to the trader and he'll fit you out with some basic equipment. After that, head straight to the outpost. Once you're outside the base, listen to my advice. I'll try to guide you along.
Yeah, it takes a little while to get
Trader, a fighter is on his way to you. Issue him with all
going in the beginning here. If you want to hear, if you want to, you know, talk to everyone and kind of get the whole story. They like the Clear Sky really likes to talk. But we'll head out.
You're with us again? Glad to see you. At last. Here, take this basic equipment kit. It's designed specifically for patrol missions. I've been ordered to issue you some equipment. There's no time for questions.
Yeah, okay. See, it used to, they used to just give you basically this stuff, but now they give you also an AK in the beginning of the game, which is good. Because it will be useful, but I'm going to equip that for now. Save the AK for dealing with the bandits, the renegades that we'll have to deal with out here.
Stalker, what do you want?
I'll explain more about kind of how things work once I get done with this little part here. Alright.
Merc, there are anomalies ahead. Be careful. Remember, don't move until you've thrown a bolt in front of you.
Good old bolts. Gotta always trust the bolt. Well, within reason. Pretty easy to see where they are though at the same time.
By the way, you can sometimes find artifacts in anomalies. You can't see them, but detectors spot them easily enough. If you get close enough, your detector will indicate the location of the artifact, and then you just pick it up easy as pie. Keep in mind that your current detector isn't exactly top of the line. It only shows the distance to the artifact.
There is a place in the swamps where you can kind of get, it's kind of a secret place where you can get like one of the best detectors right in the beginning of the game. If you go out there, and you can also find the Ventores you started the game with is lying on the ground up here. It's pretty beat up, but you can take it and fix it later. But there's a hidden area outside the fence out here where you can find, I believe it's the Veles detector, or maybe something else. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, you can find it hidden there. We'll get there. So I guess I'll explain real quick. So it hasn't started yet, but pretty much every zone of the game there will be control areas, and depending on what faction you're with, you have to kind of constantly fight for control of the different areas. You got to go wipe people out, wait for reinforcements to show up, and then you capture the area. And in the swamps here, it's Clear Sky. Okay, I'm not a member yet, so I can't show you. And the enemies are the renegades. So Clear Sky wants you to take over all these things for them before you leave the swamps. I don't think you actually have to get all of them. You just have to get a few and then capture their main base, which is this here, I think, or is it up here? Anyways, let's get on with it. So I'll probably be faction hopping as we go, depending on how invested I want to get in the actual wars with the factions, because those are kind of like an endless thing.
Run for the tower! The monsters can't get you there!
You're right on time, bro.
I'm real low on ammo, so let's make the best of it together.
Some slugs. Oh.
Attention all fighters. An emission is approaching. Get to cover now.
Okay, so yeah, you're not out here very long before this happens. And there's no real getting away from it. There's really not. Okay, I doesn't have anything. So it doesn't really matter where you are. I'll take the stuff to sell. Money's gonna be a thing. It's not gonna kill you, but I usually just go in here. And you still do get stashes from bodies, as far as I remember. But I think to get all of them, you'll have to pay for a lot of them. So that was kind of anticlimactic there. Anticlimactic. Just a little part tailored to teach you a few things.
You survived the emission again. I'm not even that surprised. Our boys picked you up not far from the tower when things calmed down a bit. You know, Bienpolev was right. You defy scientific explanation. He believes that you acquired some, let's say, unusual abilities, which help you survive anomalous activity that would literally tear anyone else down to atoms. Also, it looks like something is increasing your body's performance in several areas, to the point where our monitoring equipment goes off the scale. Wait. Don't get too excited. There's always a fly in the ointment. Every emission harms your nervous system, and if this continues, you will die. A normal emission is the release of energy accumulated in the zone. A discharge, if you like. But what's happening now is completely different. In my opinion, the increasing regularity of these emissions is the zone's response to some sort of serious threat, akin to the response provided by a human immune system. It is difficult to rationally explain coexistence between humans and the zone. The zone tolerates us in some areas and forbids us from going to others. Whatever is beyond the Scorcher and further towards the center of the zone is taboo, a place where stalkers are not supposed to set foot. I think that recent events in the zone are related to the fact that someone broke that taboo and made it past the brain scorcher. It's hard to say. To answer that question, I would need to know what's in the center of the zone. Some say the monolith, others say the wish granter. The more unpretentious ones dream about fields of rare artifacts. I was at the power plant myself, a young specialist at the time, but I don't know what's there now. What I can say is that the Scorcher appeared for a reason. It prevents the center of the zone from being reached. People cannot go beyond the brain Scorcher. I didn't think so until the large emission. Hell, nobody thought so. However, if you consider the emissions to be a defensive reaction, then the answer is obvious. Someone made it through the Scorcher, and the emission was the zone's response. And since the emissions haven't stopped, whoever it was must still be alive. The zone is trying to get them, and it's killing everything that's alive in the process. I know a lot about the zone, but I can't share everything with you. You'll just have to trust me on some things. A system, any system, needs to be in equilibrium. The zone is unstable right now, and this instability is increasing. If the constant emissions aren't stopped, the zone will become so unstable that a new disaster will occur. Which brings us to what Clear Sky is doing. We're trying to prevent that disaster. You're right, but we do know how to prevent a disaster and stop the emissions, and that means something. We have to find out who was in the center of the zone and stop them at any price. There's a strange connection between you and the zone. On the one hand, every new emission gradually kills you. On the other hand, you survive in situations where others don't stand a chance. My gut feeling tells me that your abilities, your gift, your curse, call it what you will, they mean you can get through places that others wouldn't even dream of. And at the moment, we need to act very quickly. I knew you'd ask that. The answer is simple. If the emissions aren't stopped, your nervous system will burn out and you'll die. Help us and you'll save yourself. Now this may sound like a line from a corny movie, but you really don't have a choice. Unfortunately, yes. So, will you help us?
Of course I will.
Then listen carefully. We have made use of all our contacts and connections in the zone. As a result, we know that a certain stalker at the cordon was asking Sidorovich about some very strange components. That's all we have for the moment, but it's a lead. Through the swamps, of course, how else? But remember what I said. After the emission, a whole army of all kinds of scum turned up in the area. Now they control almost everything. We are under siege, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. So before we can help you get to the cordon, we have to regain control of the swamps. And with your help, I think we should be able to do it.
Alright. So, after about 30 minutes of talking, finally getting on with it. So this guy just kind of tells you what I told you. This what can you offer me thing is where you buy stashes. He just tells you what's going on in the swamps and what you need to do, but I already know how to do that stuff. So let's go talk to the trader here.
A visitor? Oh, welcome, guest from foreign lands. What come you with? A bursting purse? A pride? Yeah, I heard your story. I reckon the main thing is that you're still alive. Stuff is easy enough to replace, so long as the zone is kind to you. So, we gonna trade, or you got some questions for me? That's the sort of people we are. You can't buy an extra 15 minutes of life, or a spare store from death. But us traders are needed everywhere. Even in the zone, even in the swamps, and even underground. It's an illusion that the zone is under lock and key, and the army has all the ways in and out sealed. I mean, think about it. Nowadays, artifacts and rare specimens from the zone can be found all over the world. And your fellow stalkers never have a shortage of canned meat, vodka, ammo, or equipment. Somebody's got to be responsible for all that, right? Well, that's where we come in. In this place, it ain't like selling bootleg CDs on the outside with the cops up your ass every damn day. Around here, the situation is very simple. The outside world has an interest in the zone and vice versa. But it's officially forbidden, prohibited, and all that bullshit. That's what we're here for. We make sure all those interests are satisfied and everybody's happy. There's a joke among traders that if someone points a gun at you, your best bet is to try to buy it off them. Let's not talk about it. You have no idea how tired I am of peddling these trinkets. There's a ton of ordinary artifacts out there, but the best tidbits pass this place by. I haven't had a unique item in my store for ages. Who knows? Maybe stalkers have already found everything there is to find. Man, getting behind the Scorcher would be a dream.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
know.
but I have enough talking. Item received: flashlight with Drana. Okay, so yeah, you can get upgrades for traders that will. Brain fart. It will
Drop in
increase
next
their
time you're
ability
in
to
our neck of the woods.
upgrade your stuff. Basically, I lost everything I picked up, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, so he gave me some stuff. What do I got here? I got 200 rubles. Basic suit. Oh, also, I'm gonna bind my my keys here. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Bind cam. One. Oh wait, wait, no, bind cam 1 KF 5. Okay, bind cam 2 KF 6. Bind cam _3 KF 7. Let's see if that worked. It did. That's just to make it so you can go to third person. There's no real reason for that. It sucks playing in third person, but it's really just a screenshot thing. Something you can do. Something I like to show how to do. All right, I'm gonna go talk to this guy because I think I have a flash drive for him here. I wonder if you can still. You used to be able to kind of glitch through the bottom of this place and pick up free stuff from inside. I don't think that's the case anymore. That must have been, I think that was vanilla Clear Sky. Vanilla Clear Sky had a lot of problems that Complete fixed up.
I'll be there in a moment. What's up?
How's it going, Mr.
See
Fix-It?
for yourself. There's hardly any equipment. It's like life after a nuclear war. If we do get a hold of something, it's about to fail anyway, and there ain't shit around to use for spare parts. That's why I'm having to adapt whatever I find and use it as best I can. Only last week I needed to make a radio receiver. What do you think I used for parts? That's right, a goddamn fridge. I'm not sure whether to laugh or cry. Yeah, there ain't much to get excited about around here. Not like the garbage. I heard they dug up old Soviet caches. After the accident at the Chernobyl NPP, they sent convoys there with contaminated vehicles and equipment and all sorts of other crap. They thought it was all waste because it was radioactive. That was then. Nowadays, nobody would even call that radiation. So there's a real gold rush going on there. Stalkers are flocking over there from all over the zone to dig for loot. It's a pity not much of it filters through down here, unless Lebedev sends the boys to pick up specific components. Nothing special. I repair and upgrade weapons and suits. Basically, I do whatever needs getting done. If you need something fixed, I'm your man. Yeah, if I could get a few spare parts, I would make the guys some real nice toys. Weapons, armor, equipment, I take them all to a whole new level. Remember, if you bump into something useful, bring it here, and I'll do it up real nice. That's a promise.
Yeah, so you can get flash drives to bring back to the traders, and it'll give you more upgrade options. See, and I've got this one, I believe.
Well,
Let me talk to him. I found the one, so there's a grand right there. Let me show you the upgrade thing. So yeah, you can upgrade all this stuff, but it is it's not too expensive at first. I really want to get Clear Sky armor, but I should probably get some upgrades for this. Of course, you can do weapons and all that stuff, but he can't do. This is a pretty low level trader, so he can do a few of these. And it's probably going to be a good idea to, I'd hate to say it, upgrade them. I'm gonna do the suit first. Very useful. Night vision versus gen night vision. That is expensive, but it does help. Now there will be like different branches. You can see the dots where they'll lead to, and if you like just go to the last, it shows you what route you need to take to get to the certain last upgrade. If you do it wrong, you'll lock off the last upgrades. So I think as much as I'd like to save money, I probably ought to buy a few things. And I probably won't have the suit for a real long time, but I want to grab something. A few things for it would be good. Maybe like those three things. Let's get that, and I'm not sure if you have to pick one or the other of this, because you can see after I bought that, it locked off a few things. Maximum weight. So probably gas mask is gonna be the way to go here. And it locks off the night vision. 500 artifacts. Not really going to be anything useful at the moment. Less recoil. Probably get pistol upgrade. More mag size. Different caliber. Accuracy good. Accuracy good. I know, I'm almost broke. Okay, recoil or flatness. Okay. So, now I can get this one, but I just don't have enough cash. Anyways, the pistol is the one I'm gonna have the most ammo for in the beginning. So, yeah. Might as well dump. It'll make my time here in the swamps a little bit easier because I'm not going to find any ammo for this here. I will find an MP5 with a little bit of ammo, but it's mostly going to be shotguns and pistols here. So let's see here. Go to the swamps. So they're going to want to give me a tutorial on kind of how taking over places works here. And I'd like to get some shooting in before
You
I
got my
cut the
full
episode.
attention.
So let's go. So I'm recording.
We're there, so you can take your blind.
Ooh, okay.
Don't you try to follow me, it won't work anyway. If you want to come back to the base...
So I'm recording with a higher bitrate than I did on Shadow of Chernobyl on this one.
It looks like you're at the Great Swamps now. Be extremely careful and don't try to be a hero. Check out your PDA. You should find the location of our squads there. I suggest you get yourself over to the fishing cabin. That's where they are.
If they would stop talking. So anyways, I'm going to try to not make these too long because otherwise the files are going to be huge. It'll take me forever to upload them. Oh my god.
Damn you! Where on earth are you?
Get the hell out of here.
We can't hold on much longer! Hurry, help us!
Trying, man. There's a lot of them.
That's it. Now we'll teach them a lesson.
Oh, shit. Come on, man. Reload. I think that one's gonna run off. Usually when there's one left, they run off. But I gotta kill it. So I need to get to the pump station to help him capture. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything at the corpses. Okay, now it's changed. Defend the camp. It's kind of chaotic doing these tasks because they kind of tend to one will start while you're doing another one and stuff. See if I can help him defend here real fast. Looks like we've got a hostile still. Okay, they killed him.
Еще скажи спасибо, что пули не жалею.
Now they killed him.
Damn you! Where on earth are you?
Dude, calm down. You can't really get a ball. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to do everything.
I think we got them all.
As you can see, it's just kind of changing constantly.
We can't hold on much longer! Hurry, help us!
Get down here and try since they're being attacked right now. Trying to keep an eye on my mini-map so I don't go into the water unless I have to because it's radioactive. We got bandits.
Damn you! Where on earth?
Shut
They're coming
up.
to our help. Let's show them who's boss.
Oh, not in cover. Let's go up here.
Thanks, Mark. You really turned it around. Your reward will be waiting for you at the base.
Okay. I actually think I need to change my recording keys because I forgot the keys I have are
We barely held them off.
the ones for the med kit and the first aid kit. If I hit first aid kit, I'm gonna stop recording. So I'm gonna have to change that. Early on, I'm gonna try to get as much stuff here as I can to sell because I'm gonna need it. And one thing about Clear Sky that's different is you don't have to eat. There's no hunger, which is different. So I need to go out there and help them capture this. There's an MP5 out there I can grab. Assuming someone hasn't taken it. I think this is the first Stalker where the NPCs actually start taking loot from corpses. I could be wrong, maybe that's called Pripyat, but I think that's the case on this one. Oh my god. So many damn mutants. Okay, forget him. Let's get out of here. Looks like they've actually almost got it. They'll do it on their own sometimes. Dude, come on.
Sit tight where you are.
How about you get out of my way, dude?
Keep your eyes peeled.
This is gonna be a problem.
Keep on guard.
You shut up.
We coming up good.
Thank you. I think they got it. Once you cap a place, you have to sit there and wait for squad to show up.
You ain't all dead over there, are you? Come on, get on the air already.
So, is that what I got? Capture. Gonna sit here basically and wait until more people show up to reinforce. Yeah, see, I got a stash. There we go. Don't think I got any ammo. Yeah, on this one, food is more or less just to save med kits. So I want this to actually capture before I stop. They kind of, you gotta pick and choose which ones you do here, because there will always be a bunch of them. So I believe we just gotta wait until reinforcements show up. It's like renegades, maybe. There's definitely renegades there. Just a different faction of the bandits, basically. Got a nice screenshot. Not sure how long I'm gonna have to stay here. I don't think reinforcements, yeah, see, they're trying to come here, but there's a mutant down there they still haven't been able to kill for some reason, so I'm gonna go help them out with that. Anyone that's like a lighter colored icon, you can hover over them and it'll tell you where they're headed. You want to try and get the people that are en route to where you're trying to capture. You want to try to get them through. Alright, so now they should be heading up. There's a few different kinds of the clear sky armor. There's the light stuff, like these guys behind this guy in the front are wearing. And then there's a heavier duty one, which you'll see at some point. Let's go with these guys. Pardon me. Just gonna try to get this pump station captured, and then I'm probably gonna call this episode quits. I know that the first 30 minutes was a lot of just talking, but that's behind us now. The next one will be mostly going around and capturing stuff, exploring, looting stuff. Gonna head up and try and get that detector and the Ventores, and see if we can get the swamp captured so that I can actually leave and go to the cordon. Sometimes you have to sit here and wait for a long time before it actually caps, so let's see. Okay, now the icon changed. Alright. No, did it? Okay, they passed right through. I'm not sure why it's not captured yet. It should be. Yeah, these guys just passed right through. Okay, no. Not sure what's going on with this. But, I'll spare you the waiting. Yeah, there might be parts I have to cut out because I'm gonna have to sit in one location for a long time for, them to actually come and reinforce it and stuff like that. Which, wouldn't bother me normally, except for the fact that I'm recording these days. So, yeah. I guess I'll call it here, and, next time we'll carry on and see if we can't get the swamps under control, and, yeah, take it from there. So, see you guys next time. Take it easy.